Alright. Hello everyone. Welcome back to Rain World. We are doing Artificer. This is actually something that I've been doing off stream a little bit. I figured, might as well also stream it. This is a category that is very difficult. Specifically with my objective, because my strategy is basically just to run straight to the end, just ignoring all the creatures that get in the way, which means that they tend to kill you. So this is going to be very grindy, very repetitive. I have music this time. Last time there was a bit of a problem with the same song at the beginning just playing the whole time, so that shouldn't happen this time. I'm just gonna get into attempts. 4 minutes late. Oh no. Well, you missed all the boring stuff. I'm actually getting into the run now. So I want to explain just a little bit at the start of this run, kind of my motivation for running this category again. Also, let me know if all the sound, if everything sounds good. So if you can hear the game audio, if you can hear me, if you can hear the music in the background, or if anything's too quiet. But this is a category that I've run before, quite a bit. A few months back, I kind of wanted to speedrun every character. So I did Gourmand, and I played Artificer, then Rivulet, then Spearmaster, then Saint. By exiting out of the game, you prevent the scavengers from spawning in the toll. Or at least it takes them a while to get there. So you can just run by without any problems. Problem one with this category. I actually picked up the scavenger. The very first room is filled with vultures. So you basically just reset until just one vulture shows up, and then it's pretty easy to just take them out. So probably half of this stream is going to be garbage waste. Get used to it. But this is a very RNG heavy category. And garbage waste, of course. There's all those vultures in the beginning. There's a few other creatures that can be a problem. In Industrial Chimney aren't really that bad, but in Chimney a bunch of vultures can show up and they are going to be a problem. In the wall, scavengers can show up and be annoying. In Metropolis, of course, it's just filled with creatures that want to kill you. Vultures, mainly vultures and scavengers are the main threat in this round. Because actually at the very beginning, the reason I'm fighting all these vultures is because I want to get a vulture mask. And because that basically means that all the lizards that I run into in the run no longer become dangerous. And I think that's worth it. Spending like 20 seconds here to get a vulture mask, to be able to ignore all the lizards for the rest of the run. It's pretty useful, but it means that every other creature that doesn't care about vulture masks suddenly becomes a much bigger threat. Okay, so that was a pretty decent start. Basically kind of what you want to get. Actually get going. So an ideal run never has any slowdowns from creatures. You just run from here to the end, and that's it, you know. Of course, every time a scavenger is in the way, every time a lizard is in the way, every time a vulture shows up and you have to maneuver around them, it slows you down. And ideally, that never happens, of course. But that's really unrealistic. Just because it's Rain World. Of course, you can't expect to never run into creatures. But I've decided to do it. That is my goal, so I will spend the next maybe 3 hours just doing this until I get lucky. And also because I kind of want to prove a point of what the Artificer speedrun is. Because the world record, if you go to speedrun.com and you look at Artificer, it's actually the first category that shows up on the downpour page. The world record is like 24 minutes. And I know that's not nearly the fastest time possible, which is reasonable. Of course, getting a faster time is much more difficult. But I know that a significantly faster time is possible, like a 21-minute time, and maybe even below that. So I just want to get that time to prove that it's possible. But also, for anyone who wants to run Artificer themselves, I was lucky. I want this to be a reference for what the strategy is. It seems awful to run. You're not wrong. Because I see people all the time talking about Artificer. It is actually a pretty popular category, but nobody really has a consistent strategy for it. So I just want to have a run that I can just say, hey, here's the run. You can copy my strat. If you want to, you can look into ways to improve it or change it based on your preferences. But here's a run that at least is good, you know. And also my own run, which is actually secretly a world record, is a 23. This guy's still chasing me. A 23-minute time, which is almost a minute faster than world record. It's a time that I'm bothered by because it has so many slowdowns that I'm like, okay, it's obvious how this run can be improved. I just never wanted to upload that run because of all the mistakes. So now I need to get a better run that fixes those problems. But also after grinding so many attempts to get that run, I didn't really feel motivated to keep doing it. But it was actually recent discussions about the category that kind of motivated me to get back into it. So I've spent maybe like 100 attempts off stream in the past like week on Artificer. And only a handful of them actually made it to Metropolis. But once you make it to Metropolis, I'd say you have a 25% chance of actually making it to the end with my strategy. So, very, very loose math. There's a 1% chance that any run can make it to the end. Based on those like rough estimates. Yeah, I'm listening to the playlist. Because last time I ran Artificer, there's a song that plays in Garbage Wastes. And that was the one song that was playing for like half of the stream. Yeah, every time you restart, you go back to Garbage Waste and you listen to that song again. So I just wanted to hear anything else, really. No Stoneheads runs? No, we're not doing that anymore. That song might be on the playlist. We'll see. Also, welcome to the stream, which is the expedition music. This stream is very much going to be just focusing on the speedrun. I might not talk much once I get into like later attempts. A good 50% of my runs have died to King Vultures. They are, despite how fast Artificer is, they are incredibly good at hitting you, even when you're jumping around. Or maybe I'm just bad at dodging them. Because this is a draft for the boss fight, sort of. I find that actually the best way to, well actually I learned something about the Scab King. Their armor can only take a hit every second. So if you throw 2 spears at them in quick succession, only one of them is going to deal damage. But if you delay the second spear throw by a second, then they will both actually break apart the armor. So the strategy is to just use 1 spear, or like 2 spears, and like very few amount of spears, because the more spears there are, the more they have to throw at you. And then every second, throw a spear, and keep stunning him with the parry, so that he can't move around too much. And then once the armor is broken, just like spam as many spears as possible. And if you die, well, that sucks. That's part of the 25% chance of dying in Metropolis. Or actually, I guess I should say 75% chance of dying. 25% chance of actually making it. Is there a mod that allows you to play as lizards? Yes, actually. It's not even a mod, it's part of the DLC Downpour. It's called Safari Mode. It doesn't really let you play as creatures because you're limited to controlling them the way they can move around, so the controls are a little bit jank. And you can't move between regions or do a lot of things that suck at scan, like you can't see echoes, you can't see the iterators, you can't do like story related stuff. You can't beat the game as a lizard, but you can move around and like eat stuff. Here's Artificer's theme. There's also that mod. I haven't played it myself, but I assume that it uses a similar system to Safari Mode. There's a vulture in this room. Hello, everyone who's joined recently, welcome to the stream. And welcome to a rare occurrence. I'm actually in the wall right now. Usually, you're probably going to see me in garbage wastes, dying repeatedly to vultures. Okay, scavengers up there mean that I have to take the long route. Gotten a little bit better at that route recently. It might actually be faster than climbing through the tunnels if you do that on your first try. Maybe I should try doing that more. So the only reason we need to stay in the shelter is just to use it to return to after seeing pebbles. This is another one of the RNG heavy parts of the run. Okay, that's really inconsistent. I don't have any careful strategy for this room. I just run. If I see a scavenger, I throw a spear at it. Those ones down there aren't a problem. This guy might be. Actually, they're not a problem. Arena song. Okay, scavengers weren't an issue. They were all in the underground tunnels. I did not expect that. I've never seen scavengers over here. Okay, that's still okay. Artificer speedrun sounds like, I assume you mean RNG nightmare? Because it is, you are correct about that. I've gotten very lucky to make it this far so early in the stream. But I will probably die in Metropolis. Just kind of expect that. Stick there. Oops. It's my PB. My current record for Artificer is about 23 minutes. How I generally take care of Chieftain. Try to use a handful of spears that I pin into the wall so that he can't take them. And then repeatedly parry to stun them and throw a spear every second to break the armor, and then spam them too once the armor is broken. Also, everyone, please let me know if the sound is all good, so if you can hear me and the game and the music, or if anything's too quiet or too loud. Hello, welcome to the stream. No, I don't have splits for Artificer. I guess I just never made them in the first place. But I feel like they would just be distracting, honestly. And Artificer is such a chaotic and random character that splits aren't even a really good judge of what you're doing. You might lose like a minute early in the run, but you might save like 2 minutes later because you got lucky. So we're just gonna do runs and just see what the time is at the end. There might be scavengers in this room. There are not. Not yet. So one little strategy that I've been using throughout this run is bunny hopping after double jumps. Now you can do a like roll pounce after a double jump, but it actually kind of slows you down. So ideally you just do a regular jump and it just keeps your momentum from the double jump. If you do it correctly, you can maintain the speed for much longer. Ow. That's not an ideal strategy. I missed a few of those and still. If that was a more skilled scavenger, I would have died. There's some that like to, or there's some that are able to throw spears at you like instantaneously the moment they see you. Those are the ones you have to worry about most of the time. This one might be dangerous. He doesn't have a spear though. Gonna conserve a double jump here by going this way. Oh, great. This is not good. If you go through this room too slowly, then scavengers show up there. And you have to wait for them. And it sucks. I don't really have a consistent strategy for it. I really should though. Oops. Okay, 2 problems here. Okay, 1 less problem. I didn't know they got triggered by grapple worms. There's a trade-off throughout all of Artificer between using your spears and stuff to throw boost or to use them against scavengers. So you kind of always expect scavengers to show up. So you want to have a spear ready to throw at them. But also you could use it to do an extended slide or an EI hop or something. I hate that scavenger. This drophook has killed me many times. Pretty typical. That is where about half of, no, I mean, a lot of your runs die in garbage wastes. If you make it past garbage waste, you're probably going to die there. That is why I threw a bunch of spears. But I guess I missed one. And if you make it past that room, then you probably are also going to die to the Scav King, or just not fight him fast enough, because that fight can kind of take a lot longer if you're not lucky, or if you're not if you don't get him quickly. If he's able to jump away and pick up spears, then you have to play it really safe, or you get killed by him. Tries to go through Rubicon, Rubicon again on purpose. Not happy with that. No toll. So what we do in the very beginning of the run, once the cutscene is over, we exit out of the game, and that sets us in this room, but at the start of the cycle. So what's happening right now is while this cutscene is playing, a bunch of scavengers are spawning in the next room, and they are moving over to the toll. So then if you go over to the toll, the scavengers will be waiting for you, ready to kill you, making it a huge pain. But by exiting out of the game, you're basically resetting it back to the start of the cycle, where the scavengers don't have enough time to make it over to the toll. So you might see scavengers show up on the right side of that room. They come out of those dens. Did I pick up the... I think I picked up the, I picked up the explosive spear, so it didn't actually damage them. That's funny. Discovering new ways to lose there. I'm kind of debating between two different strategies in that room. One of them is to hit a scavenger, or hit a vulture with an explosive spear, which pretty much kills them, where you can then just take off the mask pretty easily. The other strategy is to parry them to stun them. And while they're stunned, you can grab them. So if you grab onto the head and maul them, it takes off the mask. So if you do it correctly, you can just immediately grab onto their head and take off the mask without even having to kill them. Of course, the alternative strategy is to just snipe them with a spear and immediately take off the mask, which is always the fastest option, but it's incredibly difficult and inconsistent. There may be a way that you can get consistent at the strategy where you just parry them to stun them. If you can like parry and grab their head at the same time. But I have had difficulty doing that correctly. So I mostly also use the explosive spear, just kind of as a safety net. Another strategy is to walk into this room, and you might just see a vulture mask on the floor because of all the chaos that happens in that room. Oh yeah, you can parry the harpoons. It's very difficult though. I'm sure that if you're like standing there waiting for it, it's easy to time it, but like in the middle of a game, if a king vulture shows up, it's very hard to react to it in time. How's it going? It's going Artificer. I made it to Metropolis, and I died to the scavenger toll room, so pretty much as expected. Whoops. I don't know why I did that. Like there's always a spear right here. All of the time. Okay, that also happens. Done that one spider spider that ended like half the Saint runs. Well, maybe not half. There's one room where there's a spider spider or a red lizard or a red centipede, really just anything. It's a very like tight room. You don't have much room to move around. But it is the fastest way to go. Or maybe not, I don't know. We haven't really routed out Saint too much. I wouldn't be surprised if someone found a better route for those categories. But Saint isn't very popular for some reason. There's like 5 Saint runs total. And I have 2 of them. Is that bad karma? That's close. I challenge you to also find the Mirror's Vulture that ends my runs. The joke is that it's not a challenge at all, but it's very easy to find. Oh great, 2 vultures. Okay, that's just too chaotic. If you have been here since closer to the start of the stream, this is what you should expect. That first round that I got was actually very lucky to make it all the way to Metropolis. But this is about 50% of the time will be spent here. I mean, I haven't checked. I could go look at my like hours of video from speedrun attempts to see what percentage is in garbage waste. This is just doing this. At least your starting run is actually very fast. I mean, if you ignore all the times you died to vultures in the beginning, it only takes like a minute to get back there. Actually, exactly a minute. So a lot faster than like Rivulet, for example, where it takes like 3 minutes to get past a drainage system. 2 vultures here. Just kidding. The king vulture took the scavenger anyway. It's one of my favorite songs, Downpour. I think it plays in Outskirts. Rip run, what do you mean? The run hasn't even really started until you've made it past garbage waste. I don't know why there's so many people here. The title is like anti-clickbait. Maybe if I was actually doing some like interesting concept. Nope, it's just gonna be this. I think this king vulture is gonna be a problem. You have to hide your face away. Sometimes they don't even kill you, or they don't even grab you, they just kill you. And that's it. Actually, let me do something for a second. Hello. Welcome to the stream. I want to show something real quick. This is the problem that I have. So given this vulture, they like to run away sometimes. The goal is to find some way to take the mask that is very consistent. And that's the strategy that I had. What I just did there, that's what I want to do. Ideally. And what I want to find is, can I always do that? Sometimes that happens. But in that case, they kind of dropped into a position where it was easy to grab the... It was easy to grab the mask because it was like right on the floor, but now it's like way over there. That time I grabbed the body instead. And I'm now fused with them. I think the most viewers I've ever had was like 15 on YouTube. There's other times where I've had a lot of viewers on Twitch from like a raid. And another problem is that the area and garbage wastes, where you fight the vulture, it's very uneven terrain, so the the vulture body tends to like roll around. Oh, thank you for that. Biggest raid? I don't really remember. Ice Toad Runs has raided me once or twice, so however many viewers he has, it's probably a good measure. Okay, back into just the rate save file. I know I just checked. Yeah. I got the main menu theme playing in the main menu. It's crazy. Seems most consistent when you parry the head when it's at the sides. It's not launched upwards. Okay, I can try that. Ideally, I don't even know if this is possible, but what I would like to do is parry them and grab their head at the same exact frame, or at least like one frame apart maybe. Well, not the frame really, but I want to grab the head so quickly that it doesn't have time to fly away. So I can basically stun, grab their head, and immediately take it off, or take off the mask. There's a mod for that though. So just back to this. So should I make the explosive spear? Like I don't know. Oh, just ran into that. Yeah, the knockback is really high, but sometimes it works. I think it works sometimes. I don't know if anyone could find a better strategy for this. That'd be very cool. So I think what happens in this room, or in that room with the vultures, it's a big reason why a lot of people don't keep running this category. Because you either ignore the vulture mask, just keep going, you know. But then you probably are gonna die to lizards because there's a ton of lizards in industrial and chimney, and the wall has all those cyan lizards. But if you try to get the vulture mask, then you spend a lot of attempts just doing this, dying to the vulture repeatedly, because it's hard to get the mask. I think that the mask is worth it, just because of how much time you save by ignoring the lizards. But you do have to do this. I don't know. Should I get the explosive spear? Hey, I want that. That's the alternative, just to do it. Oh great, this guy. He took off the scab body. That's cool. That was actually a good start. Artificer recolored mushroom. Huh. Yeah, it does kind of look like that. Fluffy scavenger. A whole party right here. Sometimes the scavenger can blend in with the background and it's hard to see them. Bad reaction time. Sometimes I like to check that room if a vulture has lost its mask. I think that it could happen either because of a scavenger that hit it or a king vulture that hit it, which is very rare. Or I think a red lizard can do it too, which is much more likely. There's a red lizard there fighting the vultures. But I feel like that happened a lot more in the past, previous runs that I've done. I would find masks on the floor. But I haven't seen that in a long time. Unless I'm checking that room too early and I need to wait for something to happen. Okay, vultures, or their karma's bad. Bluegrass grows in garbage waste. I think it's to kind of show how this version of garbage waste is a lot earlier, and those plants kind of like die off later. I think I'm very good at restarting the game. I've done it a lot. Thank you. Why blue? It stands out. Like everything else is like brown garbage waste, so something that's blue. This guy doesn't even have enough karma. Oops. Hold up. You can't just restart from there. I think someone wanted to make a mod that would just add a button that let you restart from in-game. But there are potential problems with messing up the timing. Because you start the timer when the restart game circle is filled in all the way. So if everything was exactly the same, it'd work out. Try level the vulture and then parry after whiplashing before you hit the ground. First of all, I don't even know if you can do a whiplash there because the terrain is uneven. I guess off the like platform. I don't see how a whiplash would help. I guess it's maybe something worth looking into. Stream. Okay, I hope it's fine. So like, whiplash, I don't know how that would help. Oh, I just jumped into that, that's cool. Oh, I see. So you parry it, the head kind of gets launched to the other side of their body. And because of the whiplash, you kind of jump over them to that side too. Why is Ghost playing? Why not? I have a playlist playing. If I didn't, and I just had in-game music on, you would hear the one same song play for an hour straight. Damn. Okay. Some difficult inputs, unless maybe you do like this. Is that the move that you're talking about? Where you do the parry at the same time as the whiplash? Oh, I totally messed it up there. I just missed the grab that time. Okay. Maybe if the vulture was on the other side, because they kind of fell into that hole there. But the inputs are a lot easier if you parry and whiplash at the same time, because you're pressing jump to do the whiplash, right? So you might as well also press grab to do the parry. But if you do the parry with a slight delay, then you have to press jump twice. Right, there's so many pipe camping mirror spirits, that's just how they are. Well, mirror spirits, if you're talking about mirror's vultures, then they will wait for you. They are hungry. For slugcats only. I think that they have like a huge bias towards slugcats. If there's a room full of creatures and one slugcat, they will prioritize you over everything else. Which is really annoying, kind of goes against like the design of Rain World to have a creature that just targets the player. That's just how the DLC is sometimes. Unless it was created like as a specifically anti-slugcat creature to like protect iterators or something, but that kind of doesn't make sense. Maybe if Mirror's Vulture showed up late in the timeline when Pebbles was tired of all the slugcats showing up, so he would create the I'm not too far away to do the whiplash. Okay, I'll take that. Not a fan of that though. Wow, it's real sloppy. Yeah, really bad. garbage waste is so laggy. Let's not make this any easier. I don't think that streaming makes it any better. Tell me console's still broken? Of course it's still broken. They haven't released any updates at all. I mean, I guess I haven't been staying updated on console stuff, but PC hasn't gotten any updates either. Oh great, some friends have arrived. I didn't even mean to do a parry, that was totally accident. Vulture is arriving. At least this song is playing. There's a story here. Guess that was what the tank lizard was carrying. Whoops, don't want to be down here. I could probably just chain that into a wall jump instead of grabbing the pole. So one of the measures that I have of how good a run is doing is the time right now when I entered this gate. So anywhere around 5 minutes, pretty good. I have gotten here before 5 minutes, and those are usually like when I don't mess up movement, or if I get very lucky with getting the vulture mask. But getting here in 5 minutes is totally fine, because there's probably a good minute I could save by getting lucky later. Or, of course, a minute to lose, so anything can happen, really. For some reason, that jump out of that pipe is really bad for some reason. Excuse me. I never understand why sometimes lizards go towards you when they're scared by a vulture mask. Like Sans will do that sometimes where they jump past you when they should just be getting... They should be going away from you. If they really are scared. Oops. I didn't even know where I went. I did a double jump and I just disappeared. This has been kind of not great. I'll just have to rely on luck later parts of the run. Now, even with the vulture mask, lizards of course still slow you down just by being in the way. There's a vulture in this room. Or not. Oh, is it getting late? Oh, shoot. Okay, that's a problem. This was a short cycle, so there's also cycle RNG. If everything else wasn't bad enough, I got a short cycle, so it's about to rain. which isn't actually a problem. I can still make it to the end, but it will be slower. As long as you get into this gate before it actually starts raining, you can look at the time in the bottom left. There's still 1 pip left, so that's maybe like 10 seconds until it starts raining. I think I can make it through the wall. Actually, I don't know. I might die. We'll see. I need to get better at those wall jumps, or doing explosive jumps next to a wall. I'm not very good at those. Kind of funny hearing the music playing when it's raining so heavily. So the problem with the rain is that it pushes you down in this room. And this guy's very hungry. I'm just, yeah, so cycle was too short. I guess if I knew how like long of a cycle you need to make it, then I could check at the very beginning of the cycle, like, oh, I don't have enough time, I might as well just restart right now. But I had some movement mistakes in that run, so it wasn't the greatest anyway. I don't like how far away the scavenger got sent. We got a king vulture. Yeah, way too many vultures. Oh, hold on. Actually, let me do something real quick. Okay, maybe that helped. But I guess even if you don't do a whiplash, it's still good to know that you can try to manipulate the position of their head after the parry. I don't know if it's easy to get into position, even if you know where their head is going. But I'll maybe try to keep that in mind. Oh, you thought you had a good run? Read the soon. Whoops. Okay, missed the platform. That's fun. That was a mistake on my end. Lost that room. Sometimes I think that if I die in a funny way, then I want to make it to the end on the next run, because it means that when I upload the speedrun, I can include the first death. Or the death right before that run. But usually the next attempt is just as bad. Ooh, actually, I made it to the scavenger fast enough so I could see its karma level, so I didn't even need to check if it's if it's high enough. But it's very difficult to make it to the scavenger that quickly. That was a mistake. No, I don't know. If they are on the right side of me, I don't know what to do, because they're much more difficult to grab when they're in that hole over there. I guess I could try to just drag them over to, like, move over to the left a little bit. Also, it took you that long to get that blue fruit. Didn't you mention that like 8 minutes ago or something? You can consistently get vultures to attack you, yeah. I literally just go to that room and stand in that one position, and the vulture will probably show up. Problem is that also, like, 3 vultures can show up, or a king vulture. Or, some scavengers, or a cyan lizard, or a red lizard, you know. Oh, it's so slow the scavengers got here. Is there a king vulture? See, that's like the ideal scenario, except I didn't even get the scavenger body. I'm holding it by its head now. Not ideal. Okay, it's still fast enough to be worth it, though. Man, getting a roll on that platform is inconsistent for some reason. And now we get the drop wig. Just our luck. Oh. This is might be a restart. Not that many double jumps left. Okay, if I can... Oh, shoot. Just didn't make use of double jumps very well this run. And the other mistakes. This might be kind of slow. Yeah, that was also bad. Probably lost about 10 seconds or more. Still keep going though. Why are you here? I always expect to see scavengers in this room. Oh, excuse me. That was rude. This guy might actually be a problem if they keep going in this direction. They'll lose they'll lose fear. Oh. I don't know why they did that. Sometimes I think they see the scavenger and they don't see the mask. So they just aggro on the scavenger. That was bad. Okay, got lucky. Still slow. This whole thing is slow. Like, it's almost 5 minutes, and I'm like a few rooms away from the gate. I'll play super risky for the rest of this run. I'll just run into stuff. Not like I'm already playing risky. Like I'm about like 20 minutes behind it where I should be at. Or 20 seconds, not 20 minutes. I do have enough time though. This was a longer cycle. Nice spot dropper. And Rubicon is trash. I know a lot about Rubicon. It does in fact have trash in it. There's garbage waste. Why are you here? I've never seen this guy. Excuse me. You know, something I haven't done really is submit a lot of my speedruns that I've done in the past. Oh, that's cool. So I did Rivet recently, but I also did some Saint runs on and off streams, and I decided like yesterday to actually go and submit them to speedrun.com. Because I kind of have this problem when I get a run and it's not perfect. I'm like, well, should I really submit it? Because I could get a better run. Whereas other runners, they just submit every run that they get as a PB. Whereas I usually have some sort of goal and I just keep doing runs until I get that goal and then I submit that one. But if I don't get that goal, then I just don't submit it. But I have gone back and submitted some old runs. Like, it's actually exactly what happens for Artificer. I did Artificer, didn't get the run that I wanted, and didn't submit it. Even though I did get world record. But now, well, I still haven't submitted it, but I'm trying to get that better run now. Funny thing is that in all of these attempts, I still haven't actually finished a run. I've probably been on good pace, like, plenty of times, but always died to the very end. Oh, this is great. Actually, it was great. Oh, but that was a very close call with the red lizard there. Or red centipede. Could have been either of them. I have also, like, died when entering this room. Or right before entering this room. To the red lizard. It's actually quite common. You'll go through the screen transition and immediately die. Or right before the screen transition. I'm not really holding the scavenger in the right spot. They're kind of swinging around a lot. But I don't have the time to change that. Okay, that's cool. See, for a second, that lizard, they only saw a scavenger. They tried to get it. But then they saw me. Oh, great. Okay, that's like 10 seconds just gone. That's cool. But I didn't have enough double jumps. Did not mean to do that. So it was going good and then it wasn't. That's cool. This is pretty much the same pace as last time. And the Artificer is very strong. Just kind of throw stuff around. Scavenger down there. A little worried that that might mean that there's more scavengers, like in the next room. Actually, there probably will be. Yep, here they are. It's not my fault. I was lucky. This is still slow. This is another slow pace run. Oh, hello. Welcome to the stream. about 10 seconds behind. Some sort of imaginary pace. You mean the whiplash strategy? I just think the problem might be that Vulture is not in a predictable position. Like they might approach from directly above you or to the side, on the either side. So it depends on what platform you are on and where the Vulture will land after you parry them. And if the Vulture is even in position to parry in the first place, because sometimes they go over the scav body instead of you. So they'll be like quite far away from you. I guess unless you were standing right next to the scavenger. But then if you do the whiplash, you're likely to pick up the scavenger body. Actually did not expect to make it up that ledge in one jump. Keyboard is the. Can you hear my keyboard? Maybe when I'm talking. Should have like noise suppression. Oh, okay, I'm dead. That guy pre-firing. Oh, okay, thank you. Can you always hear my keyboard, or is it only when I'm talking? Well, I'm not touching anything right now, but you'll see when I start doing stuff. Imagine the scav is alive. You can always hear the keyboard, that's interesting. Or actually, hold up. Okay. How about now? Okay. I guess they kind of got caught on that ledge. Wow, that's a strong throw. Hey. You know, okay, so I have a filter on my microphone that like noise suppression, so it should get rid of sounds like the keyboard and other stuff in the background. But it just turned off just because it felt like it. And I've checked actually between streams and between when I like turn off my computer. Those effects stay on most of the time, and sometimes they don't. Maybe it's like if I mess around with other settings or if I restart that program specifically, I don't know. I mean, unless you guys like the keyboard, I can turn it back. But I would like to have it on to get rid of any like background noise other than the keyboard. outskirts song. Try the whiplash here. That might be too far away. Oh yeah, let's get a red lizard too. Why not? Hello, welcome to the stream. And a lot of deaths. Okay, I've not been able to get a roll off that platform consistently for some reason. I used to just do that all the time, but now I've yet to do it again this stream for some reason. Also, hello to you. And also anyone else who may have joined the stream recently that I've missed or who has not said anything. I was worried for a second that the Cyan was aggroed on me and not the scavenger. And they proceeded to slam their head into the wall. Several times, in fact. Here it's okay to ask questions, like about Rain World. Like, that's totally fine. The most realistic Rain World lizard is? I don't know, they're all quite different. Maybe like blue lizards. That's cool. Always love jumping down here. That was a joke, by the way. I don't like jumping down there. Game's cool. I agree. This game is pretty cool. The speedrun, however, is a little bit awful. A lot of creatures that want to kill you when you are trying to go as fast as possible. Oh, egg bug speed up. Yeah, green lizards are kind of like some of the larger kinds of lizards. But I guess like the big lizard is similar to the other big lizard. Like, I've been happy about this red lizard going over here often. They could kind of like stun lock me with spit. Do Riv runs? Okay, Riv speedrunner. Hold up. I'll look at the rest of that in the gates. Okay, this is a better start. Any advice for first cycle through Canopy? So I can go through it in one cycle. That is difficult. I've kind of got to a point, even before like the wall pounces and stuff. Wall pounces are not necessary, neither is the plank. But there's a point where you've just played Rivulet enough where you can just like naturally go that fast. So, you know, the more you play, eventually you'll find that you're able to do it, but, if you're struggling with it, honestly, it's not completely necessary to do it in one cycle. Kind of crazy idea. But if you're not able to get through it in one cycle, like ever, even in practice, then you probably aren't going to go fast enough to get, like, a time comparable to world record. So, like, why even bother you might as well take a shelter for safety. You can take either the shelter in the middle of chimney or the shelter at the beginning of the gutter. And just do the whole thing in 2 segments. And you can still finish the rest of the run pretty quickly. Like you only lose like about a minute for like maybe to get food and staying in the shelter. And it means that you aren't going to be too worried about going too or fast enough to hit the cycle. There's no reason to try to push yourself to do strategies that you're not able to do. And then with enough practice, and if you do the run enough, then you will reach a point where you can do it in 1 cycle, which is actually really satisfying to realize that you've improved enough to be able to do something that you weren't able to do before. It's one thing that I really like about speedrunning this game. And I guess speedrunners in general. There's that sort of thing. Why bother? This guy is going to kill me. Yes. If anyone knows how to deal with king vultures, I would like to know. Because aside from scavengers, the next thing that I die to most often is king vultures by far. They just show up and they shoot you and you die. And it's like, it doesn't matter how fast you're moving, they like to predict your movement. I guess I know what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to change direction when you hear the blinking, or like the sound effect for when they're about to shoot. That's when you should change direction so that they miss their shot. But I'm always like doing something. I'm always like in the middle of a jump or in the middle of like a roll pounce, and it's like I can't just change direction suddenly. Or I'm like worried about getting other movement done, or if I change direction, I'll fall off the pole or something. But out of all the creatures in the game, for how long that I've played, king vultures are definitely what I'm probably the most scared of. Out of all creatures, like a red lizard, okay, I can like avoid a red lizard, you know. They can't fly. Oh, well, I kind of knew that was gonna happen. I say that about red lizards and I immediately die to one. But if I'm in a room and I know there's a red lizard in that room, I know where the red lizard can go. I know how to avoid it. If I'm with a red centipede, I know that I can just constantly move in one direction and they will never be able to catch up with me. If I'm in a room with a king vulture, I get out of the room. I do not know what to do. Unless it's a super ideal scenario where they are directly above me, then you can kind of strafe side to side to dodge the harpoons. But other than that exact scenario, because the moment that they are like horizontal to you, it's very hard to dodge the harpoon. Oh yeah, red lizards can kind of fly. However, they're not as bad as Miros vultures. Because at least the king vultures have a telegraph for their attack. Oh, that's great. I like your head. Okay. It's too slow. Rocks counter them? Wait, if you throw a rock at a Miros vulture, does it do its laser attack? I guess I haven't thought about that. Because then you have until the laser blows up to like get out of the way or to like hide or something. Yeah, Miros vultures are like by far the hardest creature to kill, other than the creatures that literally can't be killed in a reasonable amount of time. Like, it takes multiple explosive spears to kill a Miros vulture. can see the karma. It was enough. It's a relaxing theme to be playing right now. Just moon down, just chill. Nice shot, dude. You know, for a while, I've been thinking about doing a tier list stream. Making a tier list for the characters or maybe the regions. But also, I've seen a lot of other people also make tier lists. It's like, well, that's not very original. I also thought that I'm a speedrunner, so I can make a tier list from like the perspective of a speedrunner, like how good are the regions when you're speedrunning, how like good are the character speedruns, stuff like that. Yeah, nice whiplash. My old friend. Maybe I'll make something like that eventually. A tier list of all the speedruns. But I don't really know how to approach it. If I should assume that you're going for like the best possible speedrun. Because the best possible Artificer speedrun is significantly more difficult than most of the other categories. But if you relax a little bit and you just try to do a speedrun, you don't care about like doing the ideal strategy. You just care about finishing a run, then it becomes significantly more difficult. You can take a shelter in Metropolis, or you can whoops, you don't go that way. No. There's ways that you can play safer, sacrificing a little bit of speed. That makes the run significantly easier. But should I take that into account for the tier list, you know? Because from my perspective, this whole time I've been going for kind of the perfect Artificer run. You know, that's never going to happen. But from this perspective, Artificer is very difficult. Doing the whole run without dying, and without creatures being a big problem. But if I have that in a tier list, people might think that that Artificer is just a bad character to speedrun. But it isn't really. Well, it's still really rough. But I don't want to make it seem like it's impossible, because you can totally do an Artificer speedrun if you, like, allowing yourself to die a few times or to take a few shelters here and there. Don't get how you can even rank the categories at all. What do you mean by that? Like what I would be ranking them by specifically? Oh, hello, Vulture. Okay, Vulture like that would be much easier to get a mask from. But also having a mask in garbage waste makes a big difference. Most of them are equally miserable. Well, I think Rib's story percent run is pretty good. a big chunk of the run is just movement, no creature RNG. And you know, some people have a completely different perspective on speedrunning than me. Well, they will just accept that the game is random and has creatures they have to deal with, and so they just slow down. They don't go for a perfect run. They just go for a run that's good enough, you know. And maybe that means stopping to deal with some creatures every once in a while and being patient. And they probably enjoy the game more than me when it comes to speedruns. Oops. I'd say like most of the downpour speedruns are really rough. Like Gourmand is really bad because of stamina and the creatures that you have to get past. And also because the run is quite a bit longer. It's like 40 minutes about. Artificer, I mean, you're experiencing it right now. Rivulet is like okay, I guess, but also like very challenging in terms of movement. Spearmaster is Spearmaster. Slightly easier than Artificer, but a lot longer. And you don't have as many options. No mobility, no like spears. You actually can't really make use of spears as much. Actually, the current world record Spearmaster run only uses one spear. And that's really funny. The challenge where you try to beat the campaign with only one spear ended up being the fastest run. He barely used spears anyway. And then Saint isn't that bad. Another thing about patience. I feel the patience to wait for creatures to move out of the way, it's not too bad. But if you rush, then it becomes a pain. With no masks, some other people have been running this category without masks. It just sounds kind of awful. It means that you can ignore that first room with the vultures. That's not as bad, but then every other room is much worse because of all the lizards. You can make use of throw boosting to have the other hand free for rocks and spears to... Actually, not a spear. You can't carry a scav and a spear at the same time. You can carry rocks to do extended slides and AI hops and throw boosts and such. Oh joy. I've learned. Hunter Ascension. Isn't that really difficult too? I don't know, there's probably a few different routes for Hunter. I'm not exactly sure which ones are which. I don't know, like if you just want to get enough karma to ascend, do you need to go to Pebbles still? There's probably other echoes you could take. But also the wall echo and Pebbles are quite close to each other, but it also takes quite a long time to get over to Pebbles and then come back. But also Hunter in general is just difficult in terms of creatures. You don't have to climb the wall? Okay, well that makes it a little bit better. A free meal for the King Vulture. I like how they still use the harpoon against dead creatures. Like they really don't need to. But like might as well, because I guess they don't really, there's no cost to using the harpoon as much as they want. Excuse me. Was it about to rain? I'm bad at the game. Well, it's not a problem in this room. I think that guy's aggroed on me. I'm sure they figured out the route. There's some like, there's actually a lot of people running Hunter. Not Artificer. Everyone who runs Artificer gives up after like a few hours of attempts. It sucks. This run has not been great. And it might continue to be not great. Depending on the next room. Actually, this room. It is a pretty big room. Okay, no scavengers yet. It just doesn't. I think some hunter run involves reindeer. Kind of sounds scary. I guess you could use the deer skip. I plan on using split timers. Honestly, not for Artificer. It's just really hard to know how well a run is doing based on splits. Because you could gain or lose a ton of time based on creatures. And honestly, I just haven't set one up, so I'm not going to. This little part of the wall right here is one of my favorite parts of the game in terms of movement. Okay, ready to die to scavengers? Oh yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, okay. Please don't use default binds. Which way do you want to go, dude? Hoping for a mask on the floor. Oh, shoot. I didn't expect to actually get it. Well, this is kind of slow anyway. The one double jumps. No. Can you hit vulture masks like the way that you can hit lizards' heads? Because what I did there was I crouched and then I threw a spear at the same time, so the spear had some downwards momentum. Does that make it more likely to hit the vulture masks off? Or did I just get lucky? Imagine using arrow keys for movement. Okay, well, I'm using arrow keys for movement. I don't know what you mean by that. Wow, really low karma there. One time I got 3 scavengers in that room, and 2 of them had level 2 karma, and the other one had level 3 karma. I think that's the lowest that I've seen them. So usually it only goes down to 3 karma. It's pretty rare to see 2. Nope, that didn't work. No. I'm just connected to the sphere velocity anyway. Well, that's great. Always just felt like demasking a vulture is just completely random. Most of the time it hits the mask and bounces off. But sometimes it doesn't. And it's funny when people talk about control schemes, because it really does not matter what your control scheme it is at all. You could literally have any arrangement, any random arrangement of keys on your keyboard, and you can still get used to it. Like, there's no real reason that we use the QWERTY layout. That's just kind of how the keys are arranged, and everyone just got used to it. So you can use any keys that you want, as long as they roughly fit the shape of your hands, and you just get used to it. You could probably have all the movement keys on like completely different parts of the keyboard, and you'd still be able to get used to it. Because one time, there's this game that I was playing that was like a bullet hell that has regular movement in like 8 directions using like arrow keys or WASD or whatever. And I changed the order of those keys so that in order to go up, you would have to move or press the key to the right. In order to go right, you have to press the key up. So up and right were swapped, and then left and down were swapped. And I got used to that. So whenever I play like a top-down game with 8 directional movement, that's the layout that I use, where the keys are swapped. Just sort of as a challenge to see if I can do it. There's actually a video on my channel where you can see that like on the keyboard overlay. Nope, I missed it. Okay, I don't like this scenario. Yeah, sometimes the control scheme can help with specific movements. Like there was a I think for like crawl turn vaults, you want to... It's like a whole mess of different keys you have to press, but it's a lot easier with the specific keyboard layout. Because I am not able to do it, like, at all. I've tried. Whereas I can do stuff like EI hops pretty easily. That's not true. They're still hard. On a good day. Okay, that was awful. And the song... No, this is a different song. I mean, there's no surprise if one song plays twice in the same string. Culture is way harder. Some people do them like surprisingly consistently. I don't understand. I remember when I was doing the Slug King custom map, there were a handful of people, or maybe just one, who were big fans of crawl turn vaults, because you could basically cheese the whole map by doing them. And I set up a macro to make them a lot easier, and I did a few of them, but without the macro, they are incredibly difficult. Red Lizard? Of course. They ran away though. Nope, still can't get that roll pounce. I don't know how I did it before. They're impossible now. Yeah, also my movement in general just sucks. Okay, so I think what just happened there is the Scion saw me and wanted to get to the closest pipe to run away, but that pipe happened to be the same one that I was going into, so it kind of looked like they were trying to get closer to me. Even though that was their like closest escape plan, if I'm interpreting that correctly. Yeah, it's way better to learn from trends anyway, yeah. I mean, if you were able to, like, EI hop consistently... Oh, nice shot, dude. You'd probably save so much more time. Especially as, like, Survivor. It's where they make the biggest difference. Oh, are you talking about the... that room with, like, the lizard head? As part of the terrain, because I think there's a wall pounce that you can do in that room now. That might be easier than a crawl turn vault. That spot where you need a spear. Well, you just need to remember to pick up a spear at some point and just not throw it. And you have to be very unlucky to not get a spear from like that whole like last part of the wall. Don't restart again. But for like extended instant hops, you don't need to be frame perfect. You can still get like go pretty fast if you're a few frames off. But with crawl turn routes, I think that you do have to just be frame perfect. Even like start the crawl turn vault, and then you need to be like even more perfect than that to get any height from it. Or maybe I'm totally making stuff up. Oh, actually grab the scavenger, please. Every time I get a good start, this red lizard is here. I guess I shouldn't be surprised because I'm getting here sooner. There we go. There's the roll pounce. This is why I care about getting the roll pounce, by the way. See how much faster that is? That was dumb. This scavenger is one of the best downport regions. That's an opinion. That is certainly something. Sorry for not reading chat. I'm a little bit focused on not dying to everything. And not like flailing on the floor. Oh, see? Like that. Subterranean song. Least favorite downpour region. Metropolis. It's a cool region, but it's like all about combat. That I am not really a fan of. Like it looks very cool, but that's true for everything. Excuse me. But I always thought of Metropolis as being a cool region to explore and not the kind where you want to go around killing everything. That's what it ended up being in Downpour. Sump tunnels. You know, I don't think sump tunnels are that bad. It's unfortunate that you can kind of get soft locked in there if you aren't bad at, or if you aren't good at swimming. I answered this question in chat like 5 times total. That happens actually quite often. I don't know why. People like to show up and either like really random people or like regulars. They'll show up and just ask some random like typical question. What's your favorite character? What's your favorite region? Least favorite, blah blah. So I've also answered these kind of questions like 1,000 times. But they're really hard questions to have good answers for. You either, I feel like if you don't answer, okay, specifically when asking for a favorite something, like what's your favorite character or region, if you don't immediately have an answer, then you don't have a favorite. Which is usually how it is for me. Like I have to like go over like, oh, what are all the regions in the game, and like what do I think of each of them, and oh, what about the ones in different campaigns, or what about speedruns that go through those regions? There's a lot of stuff to think about. It's not a very clear answer. Oh, Precipice is kind of annoying because it's only accessible by like one character. Speedermaster. Okay, I'm probably gonna die to this King Vulture. Unless, thank you, Cyan. Just kidding, there is a second one. Just kidding, there's another Lizards. A roller coaster. Precipice would have been a really nice way to get from Underhang to Moon, but you can only do it as Spearmaster, or Moon is a completely different region anyway. Like if Precipice was still intact, the Rivulet run would be completely different because you would go to Precipice instead of going down the lake and through Shaded. But I see a lot of people are interested in Precipice and they check it out as every character, and every time they get there and immediately notice that it doesn't go anywhere. It's just a dead end. So every single time. Oh, I'm not really a fan of the Rot as a Rivulet. I want to be fast, run around and do like slide pounces and stuff, but the Rot forces you to slow down. And some people like that. They like the kind of like puzzle type of movement you have to do where you like take things slow. You think through like what your options are. But I'm like, I just want to go. You know, that's how I feel when playing Rivulet. And you can't do that completely. But I've also said that exact answer like 20 times already. So you probably already know. Alright, I'm gonna stop reading chat. I need to focus. Why I get a notification? You know what? Get out of here. You guys hear that? Please move out of the way, both of you. I really don't like this room as Artificer. Like, all of the poles are spaced out so that you can't jump between them smoothly. Well, I see scavengers. There's a white lizard. They could clear the scavengers out of the way. Okay, there are. Alternate pass time. Oops. Okay, I think it's over. way too long. Just unfortunately what you have to do when there's scavengers. This is still decent pace. Actually, not really. I think it's as unfortunate developments. The thing is that unfortunate development is only like a few rooms that are totally optional. Whereas the rot is an entire region that you have to navigate your way through in order to find the refraction cell. So a lot of people usually go through the region once to find pebbles. They find pebbles, then they have to go back to get the refraction cell. Then you have to go back one last time to either exit through underhang or to go back up to see pebbles again. And add up all the time that you spent dying and getting lost. And then add in an overseer who is really bad at actually telling you the right direction. Rip. Tried to pick up the rock to throw it. Is this Pipe Yard song? I think so. Placed in that one room where there's a big pool of water at the bottom. Back. Welcome back. You didn't miss anything? Oh, hey, dude. Did not mean to do that. These guys have high karma. Not this dude. Meet the sacrifice. Unless there's just no vultures. Nope. Centipede yard. Yeah, pretty much. Like how in characters with hunter spawns, if there's a room with centipedes in it, there's like 20 of them. And a good few of them are going to be overgrown. Actually, 20 isn't even an exaggeration if you count the small ones. Like that one room in drainage system, as hunter, there's like several large centipedes. Centipedes are really weird because they can spawn in different sizes. So one spawn might be different between cycles, which makes a big difference if it's like a huge centipede or just like one of the like medium-sized ones that might only take like 2 spears to kill. That was a big problem in the Gourmand any percent run. I got the mask. Oh, he yoinked the scavenger away. I feel like the spear throw might actually be consistent. If a vulture is directly above you, and their head is facing downwards, you can kind of jump and then spear them from the side, and that might actually hit consistently. I think that's what I did there. Never garbage weights as hunter. Or as spear master. Biggest mistake in my life. No, it really sucks. This whole stream, I haven't even made it to the last few rooms of Metropolis, where I'm probably most likely to die. If you want a sense of the difficulty of this run. No, I just picked up the scavenger body. Too many vultures. The moment there's like two vultures at the same time, I feel like all consistency just goes out the window. You might be able to get a vulture from one of them, but then you have to deal with the other one, either attacking you or stealing the scavenger. I agree. Alright, see ya. Thanks for stopping by. I must imagine Artificer happy. Imagine really hard. Perpetual violence with no conclusion. Perpetual deaths to vultures. Please move out of the way. I'd like your head. Made the same mistake again. Man, you know the sphere and it's boring when you have to start talking about geometry dash instead. Releasing tomorrow for real. Definitely not. Cool. What happened there? A red centipede showed up and immediately killed both the vulture and me. And if you get shocked by a centipede as Artificer, you blow up. Critters, like the background bugs. I really like the centipedes that swim around underwater. They look very interesting. Oh, those like dragonfly looking things down there are pretty cool too. The water worms, yeah. Good luck today, thank you. Alright, thank you for the luck, but I used it all up in that moment right there. If that got the mask, then I would have kept going. Looking at the bugs right now. Like how like some of them are just a few pixels. Water glowworms, that's what they're called apparently. They're pretty cool. Yeah, they're my favorite. I decided right now. Sure, brain cell today. What, there's like 8 bugs in total, and half of them are just like 3 pixels, so there's not many options. Favorite game that starts with R and ends in world. There's another option for that. Rimworld, yep. I've never played Rimworld though, so I don't know. Yeah, I feel like if I was a little bit higher up, then I would have been able to hit that spear. Okay, you know. What's your next easy demon be? How about... I can't think of any. Have you beaten Death Moon? You probably have that. Everyone's beaten that level. Alright, go do that then. It's crazy that Rain World, after creating all the creatures, decided that they should also create a bunch of tiny little creatures in the background that don't do anything, that have their own AI and like patterns of movement. Dude, this hard, the memory duel, that's like the easiest part. It takes a while to memorize. Except for, unless there's also like the wave duel part. It's a little bit rough. But every individual part is not that hard, because it's such a long level. Okay, well, 3 vultures. How many years ago? I'm probably going to be doing this tomorrow, by the way. So if you're a big fan of Artificer, and this is like a very engaging stream for whatever reason, I'll be doing it more. This guy's a bad karma. And maybe if I feel like it, I'll do another stream after that one if I don't finish a run. I don't know what's changed. I feel like it wasn't this hard to just make it to Metropolis in the first place. I don't know if I'm doing anything differently, or if I'm just playing, I'm trying to go faster, so there's more like mistakes and more risks. But I feel like in previous streams, I've actually been able to make it to Metropolis a few times, but I feel like I've only made it there like once this stream, if even. What's my PB? Like 23 something? But I've made it, I've had much better runs die later. Or like very close to the end, so like either dying on the last toll, or I did make it to the toll once this stream, but also to the Scav King, and in that run in the PB, well, I got the mask, but there's another problem. Yeah, if I was somehow able to get one of those scavengers, could sub 20. Let me check something. I think I have a screenshot. If I can find it. I have so many screenshots of Rain World for making thumbnails. If I can find one. I don't know where that image is, but one practice run that I did, I was able to finish the run in under 20 minutes, like 19 something, and that was in a practice run with no creatures, with also karma requirements turned off, so I didn't need to carry a scavenger around. So in like maybe a perfect run where everything goes like super smoothly, and you like somehow get past the toll at the end without any like preparation at all, then maybe sub 20 is possible. Plus, improvements to movement could definitely help, like, with better routing. But it just seems absurd to actually get that in a real run. Considering that creatures can slow you down at pretty much every moment. Plus, the The toll at the end usually takes some preparation. Like usually I stop to get a grenade. Which, I mean, at least it adds like a few seconds. And then I like stop for a bit to throw spears and stuff, and you know, that room takes a while to get through. But I think that around 21 minutes is a reasonable time. Well, reasonable. First up the green lizard. That's kind of what I'm going for in these streams. This stream singular so far. I want to get around 21 minutes. I know it's possible. But I think that this stream is a good example of why no one's gotten that run so far. Unless someone has and they haven't posted it yet, or has yet to be verified or something. But this is kind of the process I have to go through. One person did post a screenshot of like a 20-minute time, which was really funny because it's probably not a legit run. Thought that was funny, but it was also, that was part of the motivation, or part of why I was motivated to do this run again. That kind of started it. Because people were talking about alternate routes for Artificer. Like maybe there's some other way that's actually better. Get back here. Okay. Okay, start. This has happened, what, 3 times? I get a mask pretty quickly. I jump over there, red lizard kills me. It also happened off stream, once at least, like a few days ago. It's also like pretty much impossible to react to because that pipe is really short. It flashes and the lizard immediately shows up. I think I'm gonna do attempts for about 10 more minutes. If I don't have a good run going, then I'm not going to start a new run at that point. And throw the rock, not the scavenger. Excuse me, that's my... Annihilated by that king vulture. No, this is just really messy. But that's actually, that question is actually why I want to get this run. Because people don't know how fast you can go. Well, maybe some people do, if you have experience with Artificer before. But a lot of people look at Spear.com, they look at the record and see it's like 24 minutes. It's like, okay, that's like a good run. Even though I know that there's like 3 minutes to be saved from that run. It's a pretty big improvement. But actually getting that run, of course, is a different thing entirely, but I just want to, like, show that's possible. Maybe it is impossible. Like, no matter how many attempts I do, I'm not gonna get it. But I'd like to. Or yeah, that's nice. An interesting level. $115 That's really good. That number of attempts means you can definitely beat the level. A little bit of practice. There's a UFO part in the middle that is worth practicing, because it can be a bit awkward. I think the rest of it's like fairly easy. It is a very long level, so if you're not really used to doing that, then it's worth practicing the end, even if it's easy. Because you're gonna be like, you're not gonna get there often. And if you die, you lose like 3 minutes. Maybe I should go back to the explosive spear. Stop picking up spear, stupid. That would have gone good, but I think I killed the vultures, so they're just gonna hang out there on top of the scavenger. Kind of falls off in the later half. If you don't know, that level's from 1.9. It's probably one of the best like effect levels from back then. Considering that how limited tools were. Well, that guy kind of jumped out of that. That's funny. Didn't mean to do that. That feels consistent. Of course, now the red lizard doesn't show up. Yeah, that would have been good, but lizard for like the 5th time. Probably not gonna get another attempt in. Where does this song play anyway? Probably like Outer Expanse. Sounds like an Outer Expanse. I mean, like half the songs in Downpour are from Outer Expanse. This song. Oh, nice dodge. He hopped over that one. Red Desert was gonna show up anyway. Five karma, that means good luck, right? There they are, pretty much at the same time as always. I guess it's not too surprising for like a creature to show up at some consistent time. I'm just gonna hang out down there. Alright, well if this isn't... Let's say that this is the last attempt. Which, I mean... probably doesn't mean much. Still probably going to end in the same way that it always does. It's like a disease, this run. You think you're done with it. You're like, oh, I've finished a run, right? There's no reason to play Artificer more, but then you're thinking that run is still out there. That 21-minute run, it's possible. That's like I just kind of like just want to be done with this. Not like right now, but like in general. Like out of all the characters, I have not finished. Well, I guess not really, but out of all the characters that I've done a lot of attempts on, Artificer is one that I have significantly less attempts than, or significantly less success than others. Way more attempts and way less actual like finished runs. Even ignoring the deaths to like the first 2 minutes of the run. So yeah, I'm just focusing on it now. I was interested in Rivulet Pilgrimage percent. I think I'm just gonna wait on that. I'll do that after Artificer. There will be a point with enough runs. Maybe if I do like 10 of these streams in a row, maybe one time I'll finish a run that I'm happy with. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. I think there is still potential to improve the strategy for getting the Vulture Mask. Because I cycled between like 3 different strategies there, like doing the spear at the end. I also tried the parry to just grab the mask. I also tried the explosive spear. I don't really know which one's the best. It just kind of feels random all the time. So if anyone wants to help with this category, the best thing that you can do to help is find a consistent strategy for getting a Vulture Mask at the beginning. Or finding Oh, and also strat for like the last 3 rooms of the run. So beating or getting past the scavenger toll or defeating the Scab King. If you want to help improve this run. Anyway, I could doing the whiplash strat on flat ground. Well, yeah, that's a big difference. You're back. Welcome back to the end of the stream. I'm like about to end. Yeah, you didn't really miss anything. Just a lot of deaths into garbage. I hate the spear. It's just like hard to come up with any strategy because the vulture always does something different. They approach from a different side, from above you or below you. Not from below you. They can't do that. It might be multiple vultures. It might be a king vulture. There's just like no one strategy that can deal with all of that. Other than just a lot of attempts. So yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. See ya.